And I want to invite you to have a seat at my kitchen table. The kitchen table is where bellies get fed. It's where legs get tickled. It's where homework gets done, where reports get written. It's where hearts get healed. It's where deep, meaningful conversation happens. It's right here. It's this kitchen table. This is my favorite piece of furniture we have in our entire house, because it's really a place of transaction and transfer inside the human heart. When you look back in Scripture, we see these moments where there were these altars of memorial, where God would break through in somebody's life and they would build an altar that they would go back and remember what God had done in their life. That to me is this table. We've had this table in our family for a while, and soaked deep into the grains of this wood are so many conversations and laughter and joy and some tears and a lot of memories. It's fascinating times that we're living in right now, and it kind of moves my heart in some different places. This past week I went to my first high school sporting event since COVID started. Used to, you come running off of the court and you're slapping high fives and you're all fired up, and now you come off the court and you get a little squirt of hand sanitizer. It's just a different day for sure that we're going through. I'll tell you, something that's going on inside of me is I've never pastored through a pandemic. I've never had to try to pastor people that don't come to church anymore. Many people haven't been back to church since COVID began. It's also a little bit tricky doing employee engagement when you're not always allowed to be around the employees. It's just fascinating times, and it makes it just a little bit, different and tricky for us to try to get through times. I'll tell you, as a pastor, there's times where I feel like I'm just not doing enough. I'm not providing enough encouragement. I'm not providing enough pastoral care. I'm not mindful enough. I'm not meeting needs enough. I'm not meeting with people enough. There's times in my role at work I feel like maybe I'm not doing enough to try to lift heads and encourage hearts, to show enough appreciation. And sometimes when we go through life never feeling enough, or feeling like I'm doing enough, or that I'm bringing enough. And many times we do out of who we are. And so if I'm not doing enough, I kind of rewind the tape back and say, well, I'm not enough at that point. COVID is really starting to hit me in a deeper level, where before I was pretty good. I was fine. I'm fine physically, and I was fine emotionally, but there's coming a point in me where I feel disconnected from the very people I should be leading. And in that disconnected place, I feel an emotional despondency. I wonder, will our church ever worship the same with that group of people again? Will people ever come back to church? Will I ever have the same experiences in those nursing homes like I once had before? Maybe that will never be enough, or maybe it will never quite feel like it once did. Dr. Brene Brown said this. She said that it's like we're living in this scarcity culture where it's never enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I don't make enough. I'm not funny enough. I'm not safe enough. I'm not certain enough. And when we go through times like that, and there's so many questions really inside of us, am I enough? It's hard to have those questions unanswered, or to have those questions validated that no, you're not bringing enough. Sometimes we also look for them not just in face-to-face relationships, but we'll hop online and we'll be on Facebook. Will I get enough likes? Will people comment enough on this picture? And then we compare ourselves amongst ourselves. My family's not as cute as that family. Oh, she always has her kids dressed up so nice. My husband doesn't step up enough like that husband does. My wife, on and on and on. And Sarah got 100 likes, and I only got 43. And I'm just not enough. And in that game of constantly chasing validation and affirmation, after a while it can be a fool's game. Because I believe that there is this ache, an honest, God-given ache inside of us for our Father's approval. And maybe your dad didn't give it to you, and maybe mom didn't, and actually it was the opposite. It was, you're not enough, you're never going to amount to anything. And we just kind of grew up with those. Maybe the husband tells you as a wife you're not bringing enough. Maybe your kids are saying, we need more out of you as a parent. Constantly. Maybe your parent said that to you. I just want to encourage you that there is this person named Jesus Christ who wants to sit at a table where he can do some really good heart work with you. Where he can laugh and play, where he can validate, where he can also do some homework and help you bust through to the next level. He's asking you just to have a seat with him at the table. In Luke chapter 11, it says that Jesus sat at the table and he reclined with some Pharisees. Pharisees were just people that really didn't like Jesus, but he would sit with them. Also, we see in the book of Matthew, it says that Jesus sat at the table and there was this woman that had oil. She opened the alabaster box and she poured the oil on Jesus. And so Jesus also sat with people that he loved. He's sitting at a table today, and he's inviting you in. My favorite table, I believe, in Scripture is Psalm 23:5. It says that Jesus will set up a banqueting table right in the presence of our enemies. He will serve a feast for us, even in the midst of the chaos, in the war that's going on around, in the confusion, in the heartbreak, in the questions, in the aching, in all of the hardship that we go to. Jesus is just saying, come to the table. Let's just sit. Let's fill your spirit. Let's have some fun. And let me speak some words of life to you. I think that there's an invitation today. There's an open invitation. And the ultimate Father, who sits at the head of the family table, wants to tell you not only are you enough, but he is more than enough. And he wants to invite you to his table where he can validate you and build that relationship with you. So won't you just come and have a seat